I think it was easily one of the most intense episodes of the anime so far. I will go over the major events, the action highlights and what this means for Rudo and the gang moving forward. And of course, we will speculate a little about what episode 7 might bring, so let's jump in. The episode picks up right where we left off last week. Rudo, Gris and Follow are in what looks like a simple mission, but very quickly it's revealed to be a setup. The supposed request was actually a trap, one meant to lure them in and target Rudo specifically. We are introduced to a new enemy here, Jabber, a trash raider whose power is as disturbing as it is dangerous. Jabber has the ability to transform both of his hands into grotesque weapons, and he immediately sets his sights on Gris. From the moment Jabber appears, the tone of the episode shifts into pure chaos. Gris, despite being tough and dependable, struggles to hold his ground against Jabber's relentless attacks. You can really feel the difference in power here. Jabber is clearly on another level, and the fight animation makes that point crystal clear. Gris tries to protect Rudo and Follow, but Jabber's dual weapon style keeps overwhelming him. Meanwhile, Rudo is caught between fear, frustration and determination. He's always been this reckless but passionate character, and here we really see his inner conflict. Should he throw himself into the fight even he's not sure he can win, or does he risk losing everything by hesitating? It's a perfect setup for a growth moment, I think. One of the standout parts of episode 6 is definitely the animation. Studio Bones really went all out here. Jabber's hand transformations are both creative and disgusting at the same time. They have this fluid, unsettling motion that adds to his intimidation factor. The fight choreography is dynamic with lots of sharp movements and impactful blows, but one thing I didn't like was that they didn't show us the beginning of the fight. Like, they just saved some money for the animation and it was all dusty, so I didn't like it. Gris' struggle feels heavy. You can sense every hit he takes. At the same time, there is this looming pressure around Rudo, almost as if the whole sequence is designed to force him to break his limits. Another thing worth pointing out is the direction. The camera angles during the fight give you this claustrophobic, no escape feeling, like the walls are closing in on the characters. It perfectly sells the idea that this is a trap they can't just run away from. The pacing is fast, but not so fast that it's hard to follow. It's intense in the best way. Let's dive deeper into the characters, because this episode really brought out some layered dynamics. Gris. We have always seen Gris as reliable, a solid figure who keeps Rudo grounded, but episode 6 shows us his vulnerability. He's strong, yes, but he's not invincible. Watching him struggle against Jabber is important because it highlights the gap between normal combat skill and the kind of overwhelming power enemies like Jabber bring to the table. Gris isn't just fighting for himself, he's protecting Rudo and Follow, putting his body on the line, even though he knows he might not make it out. That kind of selflessness tells us a lot about his role in the group. He's not the protagonist, but he's the shield that lets Rudo become one. This episode was crucial for him. Rudo has been impulsive, hot-headed and sometimes reckless, but this is the first time he's truly forced into a situation where hesitation could cost the lives of the people he cares about. The trap was aimed at him specifically, which makes the stakes even more personal. His emotional turmoil, balancing fear, anger and that desperate need to prove himself, adds depth to his character arc. And the way the show teases his connection with the vital instrument gloves makes it clear. This isn't just about brute force anymore. Rudo's growth depends on whether he can channel all that raw emotion into something controlled, sharp and deliberate. He doesn't fight much in this episode, but that's actually important. Follow acts almost like a mirror, reflecting the stakes back at Rudo. His presence reminds us that this isn't just about individual survival, it's about responsibility. Follow represents the normal, vulnerable side of their group. By being in danger, he forces both Gris and Rudo to rise above themselves. Now, the villain of the week, or maybe more than just the week. Jabber is terrifying not just because of his strength, but because of his design and unpredictability. His hand transformations are grotesque, unnatural, and his fighting style is chaotic, but it's not just raw intimidation, there's intent behind his actions. The fact that he specifically targets Rudo suggests he's part of a larger plan. He's not random, and that makes him scarier because it means someone, somewhere, wants Rudo gone, and Jabber is the weapon they sent. So, what does all this mean going forward? Well, the way this fight is shaping up, episode 7 could very well be the big moment where Rudo unlocks more of his true power. The vital instrument gloves are clearly not being used at full capacity yet, and this confrontation with Jabber might be the push he needs. I also think this arc is showing us that Rudo can't just rely on raw emotion anymore. He needs control, precision, and maybe even teamwork with Gris and Follow if they want to survive. And Jabber, he doesn't feel like a one-off villain. I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks around longer, either as a recurring enemy or part of a bigger organization pulling the strings. All in all, episode 6 of Gachiakuta was a turning point, fast, brutal and full of tension. It gave us one of the best fights in the anime so far, introduced a villain who feels truly dangerous and sets the stage for Rudo's next big step as a character. But what did you think? Did this episode live up to your expectations? And do you think Rudo will finally unleash the full power of his gloves next week? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe.